Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q3 FY22 earnings conference call of SJVN Limited, hosted by Elara Securities Private Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Rupesh Sankhe from Elara Securities Private Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Elara Securities, we welcome you all for the Q3 FY22 conference call of SJVN. I take this opportunity to welcome the management of SJVN, represented by Mr. N.L. Sharma, Chairman and Managing Director, and Mr. A.K. Singh, Director of Finance. We will begin the call with a brief overview by the management, followed by Q&A session. I will now hand over the call to Mr. N.L. Sharma for his opening remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everybody. I am here to present the Q3 results of FY22 of SJVN Limited. Let me share with all the analysts and investors present over here that the shared vision or the goal or the target of the company we have revised. Earlier it was 5,000 megawatt company by 23-24 and 12,000 megawatt company by 2030 and 25,000 megawatt by 2040. Now, the management, after considering the achievements, the results, and the projects in the pipeline, aligned with the futuristic strategy of the Government of India in the renewable sector also, and the demand of energy in the years to come, management, after giving a deep thought, and the board of the company has also agreed to revise the shared vision of the company. For the short term, by 23-24, the goal remains the same, that is 5,000 megawatt company. But we have doubled it, more than doubled it for 2030. Now we have revised the shared vision target from 12,000 megawatt to 25,000 megawatt by 2030. And from 25,000 megawatt by 2040 to 50,000 megawatt company. So now the shared vision of the company will be 5,000 megawatt by 23-24, 25,000 megawatt by 2030, and 50,000 megawatt by 2040. So almost we have doubled the targets for the company. This has been done on the basis of the achievements and the pipeline of projects with SJVN. The news which I wanted to share with the shareholders that recently Government of India allocated the power potential projects in Arunachal Pradesh to different CPSEs on the one basin, one developer basis. And the government of Arunachal Pradesh has also been taken on board. And for SJVN, 5 projects of 5,098 megawatt projects have been identified in Devang Basin. So these are the 5 projects. One of these 5 projects is the Italian this mega ultra power hydropower project of 3,097 megawatt. So 5 projects of 5,098 megawatt capacity in Arunachal Pradesh, SJVN is targeting for in the next 8 to 10 years. Similarly, a few days back, Government of Rajasthan conducted Invest Rajasthan Summit, and I was there in that summit. The Honorable Chief Minister along with these 3 ministers were present, and SJVN submitted its intention to develop 10,000 megawatt solar power projects in Rajasthan in the coming 5 years. So there is a huge potential of solar power project energy in Rajasthan. So SJVN is targeting developing 10,000 megawatt projects in Rajasthan. So now our portfolio of all the projects, hydro, thermal, wind and solar has increased, and it has crossed 25,000 megawatt if we take into account the indicated capacity of solar projects in Rajasthan and 5 projects, hydro projects in Arunachal Pradesh. So that encourages us to revise our shared vision also. Regarding the quarter 3 results, let me share with all the analysts present here. The generation of power from all our operational projects in the quarter 3 has registered an increase of about 15%. It has, in the quarter 3, the generation from all operational projects has been 1,480 million units against 1,280 million units in the last year. So there is an increase of about 200 million units of energy during this quarter. This is about 15.66%. And similarly, the revenue from operations has also registered an increase of about 11%. Revenue from operation in Q3 this year is 550.92 crore rupees against 495 crore rupees last year. There is an increase of about 56 crores. Similarly, total income has registered an increase of 14%. It is 607 crore rupees against 531 crore rupees last year. Profit before tax has registered a very big increase. It has increased from 32.69 crore last year to 302.33 crore this year. And the profit after tax has registered an increase of 19%. This year, in the quarter 3, profit after tax is 232 crore against 195 crore last year. And actually, net worth of the company has also registered an increase of 8%. This has increased to 13,581 crore from 12,575 crore last year. The generation I have already shared in this quarter. There is an increase on all the fronts, whether it is the hydro or the solar or wind. There is an increase in all the segments. Similarly, plant availability factor is again at its highest level. It is about 109.95% in case of Nathwa Jhakri and 109.71% in case of Rampur project. Similarly, the incentive in terms of capacity incentive and UI charges. The total incentive, there is an increase of about 9%. In this quarter, the total incentives are about 74.4 crore rupees against 68.11 crore rupees last year. Similarly, there is almost total liquidation of LPS, late payment surcharges. We have recovered most of the late payment surcharges. The outstanding of late payment surcharges last year was 660 crore rupees. Now this has reduced to 12.95 crore rupees this year. So we have recovered almost the entire late payment surcharges this year. However, there are outstanding dues of the main supply of energy from the different beneficiaries, but the major defaulter is J&K. And another development in the since the last quarter, that we are on the verge of starting construction on the Sunni Dam project. This is 382 megawatt project. We have already received the environment clearance for this project from Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change, and also the forest clearance stage 1, FC stage 1 also. And for investment approval, the PIB has already recommended the investment approval of 2,611 crore rupees, 14 crore rupees, and the matter will go to the Union Cabinet, the CCA, and we are expecting that in the coming months it will be through in the cabinet also, and we are ready with the tendering process, and the works will be awarded as and when we receive the investment approval from the Government of India. So similarly, the work on 2 solar projects, one in Uttar Pradesh and one in Gujarat, is already going on. On the other hand, under CPSE scheme, the investment approval for more than 5,400 crore rupees for 1,000 megawatt solar projects under CPSE scheme is already with the Government of India, and we are hopeful that in the coming couple of months we will receive investment approval for this project, this CPSE projects of solar projects of 1,000 megawatt capacity. So this is all from the management side brief. But now we are ready to have queries or questions or from your side. We will try to reply as per our best ability. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Rohit Natarajan from Antique Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. Sir, on this revised target of doubling of these numbers by FY22, what exactly is the funding plan that you have in mind?
Yes, the plan is definitely that for the short term, medium term and long term. Short term, the target is the same, revised by 5,000 megawatt by 23-24. As of now, our installed capacity is 2,016 megawatt, and projects of about 3,500 megawatt are under construction. So we are sure that we will complete and commission these projects by that time. And for the mid-term period, 2030, Government of India has already fixed the target, or Honorable Prime Minister has announced in the COP meeting that about 500 gigawatt capacity of non-fossil fuel will be installed in the country by 2030, and the total installed capacity that year by 2030 will be around 830 gigawatt. So we are encouraged by our speed of taking projects, having projects in pipeline, and we have aligned our strategy with that of the Government of India. We are aggressively going in this solar sector also, but at the same time we are also playing on our core strength of hydro also. So by 2030, our target has been revised from 12,000 megawatt to 25,000 megawatt. And out of this 25,000 megawatt, 15 to 18 gigawatt will come from solar, and rest of the 8 to 10 gigawatt from the hydro, thermal or wind also. So that is our target. And by 2040, the target from 25 gigawatt has been revised to 50 gigawatt. And we will not only restrict ourselves to this hydro, thermal, solar or wind also. We will also try to go energy from hydrogen and the new technology also, and from battery storage also. We are keeping all these options open.
Sir, I appreciate all those plans, but if I have to do some number crunching, between FY25 and FY30, say let's assume you are planning to add 20 gigawatts.
Yes.
On an average, let's assume 40 billion is the per gigawatt calculation. 800 billion is the total capital outlay till FY30. And out of 800 billion, 30%, assuming that is your equity requirement, 24,000 crore will be the equity requirement from your side. And if you have to aggressively build it over 5 years, you essentially need 48 billion every year, or 4,800 crore every year, which is almost like 3 to 4x, 3x kind of a net profit that you are doing. So help me reconcile how this, a very aggressive jump can be funded. What is that equity funding going to be?
Yes, definitely the requirement of equity and the funds for this ambitious expansion plan. The equity portion will be that cash flow from the projects, because of about 3,500 megawatt capacity projects will come into operation in next 2 to 3 years, 2 years. So cash flow from these projects will be there. Similarly, we are also exploring the options of funds from the different sources. As you know that we have already gone into the bond market. We have raised 1,000 crore bonds also. We have also gone for this external commercial borrowings, what $500 million ECB also. USD. Similarly, we will also go for securitization of existing assets. The agencies, different agencies are coming forward, and we are in touch with them. And these existing assets of Nathwa, Jhakri and some other projects also. Also, we have that in mind also. So that loan will be securitization of assets. So what 7,500 to 8,000 crore that we will be eyeing for that also. So there will be no problem of cash flow for the requirement of the cash equity portion as well as the debt portion for these projects.
Sir, yeah, sure, I appreciate that part. Sir, let me now come to the under construction project. We have close to 900 megawatt of Arun Phase 3, where the progress on transmission front, it seems, has not picked up in Q3. I see the land acquisition is done for 147 out of 580 towers is complete. But when it comes to the construction for towers of transmission line, it's almost like same, 94 out of 580 locations identified. It was same as 2Q. So was there any problem in 3Q?
So in Arun 3 on the transmission front, it is agreed that initially there was problem of availability of the land for the construction or erection of the tower. But recently this has we have taken steps with the government of taken up the issue with the government of Nepal also, and the government of Nepal has come forward and they have directed the CDOs and the field officers in the front, and we are now getting site for the erection of the towers. So you will see the progress in the next quarter that the erection, the availability of the land and the erection of the towers will be faster in the coming quarter.
Sure, sir. Sir, what was we had a capex target of 1,200 crore this year for this thing, Arun Phase 3, and we have incurred close to 7 billion. That was the last amount in Q2. What is the revised amount like?
The capex target for Arun 3 this year was 1,200 crores, both for this construction as well as generation as well as the transmission component. And the next year target is around 2,100 crores on both these components. And so far this year we have spent around around 3 कितना हुआ है? Total we have spent so far 2,205 crore rupees, and this year what it is I think what 1,000 crore. About 1,000 crore we have already spent.
Sure, sir. And finally on this Buxar thermal project, sir, the main plant excavation, we haven't, made any progress from 2Q. Is there a slowdown in work in 3Q? What exactly is the situation?
No, there is no slowdown. I think the information is not correct with you. There is very big increase. In the quarter 3, we have spent around, I think, more than 1,300 crore rupees capex on this project. And on the boiler 1, this girder has also been lifted. And there is a substantial progress. If you want to have the detail of the progress, we can supply it also, or you are also welcome to visit the project. There is a substantially good progress on the this process in the Q3.
Sorry to interrupt. May I request Mr. Rohit to please rejoin the queue? We
Yeah.
have participants waiting for their turn. Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vipul Shah from Sumangal Investment. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. You said your by 2024 you will be reaching 5,000 megawatts. So out of this 5,000 megawatts, how many will be hydro, how many will be thermal, and how many will be solar? And at that time, what will be your debt?
Out of 5,000 megawatt, around 1,912 megawatt as of now, 60 megawatt we will be adding hydro this year. Then 900 megawatt will be adding next year, so it's around 70. So more than 2,872, around 2,900 megawatt hydro, and thermal will be 1,320 megawatt thermal, and about 800 to 900 megawatt of solar.
And what will be your debt when all this 5,000 megawatt capacity comes on stream?
The debt by 23-24, by the time the project, the debt will be around 10,000 crore rupees.
10,000 crore rupees. Okay.
Yes.
So how are we going to service those debt? Suppose if there is any unexpected development in any of the big projects, don't you think we are taking some undue risk, sir?
No, the debt is already tied up with the different banking institutions, and we have also kept this line of credit, second line of credit also. So there will be no risk on the front of raising the debt also. And for major requirement of the debt, we are, as I have already narrated or told, that we have already managed about $500 million ECB and 1,000 crore bonds also, and we are also going for the banking institutions are ready to lend funds to us.
My question is not about the availability of debt. My question is, suppose if any of the big project runs into any unexpected problem, how will you service those debt? Because our balance sheet size is small.
Mostly we have taken all the risk mitigation measures also. Moratorium period, that is also there, and we have the cash flow line from our other projects which are debt free now, like the biggest project, Dapazakri project is debt free now. And similarly, from Rampur project, most of the debt has already been paid also. So that we have backup also.
Okay, and lastly, sir, in FY22-23 means till March 23, how much will be the capacity addition?
By the end of the FY23, the capacity addition will be around 204 megawatt, 205 megawatt. This 60 megawatt Natwar Mori project hydro and 145 megawatt solar projects in Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat.
Okay, sir. Thank you and all the best. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Santosh Kumar Khemka, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
I am Santosh Kumar Khemka, a shareholder. I, along with my son, Vineet Khemka, is holding 6 lakh shares of SJVN.
Welcome.
I have 2 questions. First question is regarding the interim dividend for the current year has been drastically reduced from rupees 1.8 paid last year to 1.15. While the 9 monthly EPS remains same, what is the reason for this drastic reduction in the interim dividend, please?
Okay. Regarding the interim dividend, you know that our about 10 projects are under construction and many more projects are under different stages of development. So, to invest in these projects, we need more funds also. So, the dividend has been marginally reduced, but it is even more than the minimum desired, minimum level set by the government of India, that we are giving more than 5% of our net worth. And this comes to, there is an interim dividend of 1 rupee 15 paisa, which the board has recommended, and finally, while giving the final dividend in the annual general meeting, that the final dividend also. But last year it was 2 rupees 20 paisa. This year the interim dividend is 1 rupees 15 paisa, and final dividend will be determined later on. So, but to have more funds for construction projects and make the company grow in the future.
Another question I have, that I understand SJVN has presently project portfolio of around 16,000 megawatt. Besides, you are also going for hydroelectric projects of 5,097 in Arunachal Pradesh and 10,000 megawatt solar projects in Rajasthan. Both entail a project cost of around 1.1 lakh crore. I wish to know the source of funding of these projects. Besides, will there be any increase in equity capital by way of rights or bonus issue going forward, please?
For arranging funds for the expansion plan, which we have already spelled out, we have already worked out the cash flows, inflow and outflow, and the requirement, additional equity requirement from the shareholders will not be required. We will arrange funds from the internal accruals. The cash flow will start from the projects which will come into operation in a year or 2 years. And at the same time, we are also arranging funds from other sources as well. Just I have mentioned that by securitization of existing assets like Nathwa Chakri project, we are hopeful of getting around 7,500 crore to 8,000 crore rupees. So these funds we can also utilize as equity to invest in the new projects.
I see. Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dhruv from HDFC Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, 2 quick questions. Firstly is on the CPSC bid. Sir, how much of the 1 gigawatt is now tied up under PPAs?
Out of 1,000 megawatt capacity, the 150 megawatt this PPA has been 1,150 megawatt by HB State Electricity Board and 150 megawatt from New Delhi Municipal Corporation. So 300 megawatt capacity has already been tied up, and we are in discussion with the other government entities like in railways, SAIL or some other oil companies or the government discounts, Delhi Metro or other discounts in Rajasthan and other Bihar also. So we are in discussion. We are hopeful that the PPAs will not be an issue for the CPSC scheme.
Got it. And sir, is there any outer limit before which you have to sign this PPAs?
It is 2 years. It's 2 years.
2 years, I thought, sir, is for the commissioning or is for the PPA? I mean, after PPA,
Before commissioning, we have to arrange the PPA.
Oh, okay. Got it. So you can still go ahead with the project and, I mean, keep seeking the PPA that way.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. So, and in your view, I mean, will you get the PPAs upfront, or you will start constructing the project and you're hopeful that the PPAs will eventually get signed?
We will start the construction of the project and we will keep on pursuing for the PPA. This will go simultaneously.
Okay. Okay. And sir, you mentioned that we are looking for PPAs with government entities like metros and oil companies and others. But sir, these are not DISCOMs, so you will probably have to get open access approvals and other issues which we generally hear about in DISCOM direct consumer purchases. So will that be an issue when you do such deals, or will there be some government assistance in helping us manage this?
This may here ISTS interstate transmission charges are free. These free are nil. So we are in discussion with the various DISCOMs also. For this scheme, there is a condition that the CPSE scheme we have to supply power to the government entities only. So
Okay.
So that is the condition.
Okay, got it. But local DISCOM, open access charges and all those issues will not be a problem because these are government.
It's not a problem.
Okay, got it. And so one last thing was on the Rajasthan, you signed this MOU of 10 gigawatt. Congrats for that. With this contract, with this MOU, does the government also in some sense assure you land and other facilities, or that still has to be arranged by you?
They are assured in principle. If we go in the mode of JV, we will go execute this project maybe in the JV mode with one of the entities of the government of Rajasthan, that is Rajasthan Renewable Energy Limited. So they have assured in principle that they will arrange government land for that. But at the same time, we will keep the options open for the private land if available. While discussing these issues with the government of Rajasthan, with the Chief Minister also, we have already requested that government help is required in the acquisition or the procuring of the private land also. They have assured that they will extend every possible help.
Got it. So with the MOU, you get probably first preference in terms of getting land. Is that a way to understand this?
Yes, you are right that we will get first preference in getting the land.
Got it. Sure, sir. Thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Siddharth from Goodwill. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Firstly, I wanted to understand, is our company exempt from the 75% promoter holding norm, or, what's the reason behind, government owning such a high stake, where the promoter is allowed only 75% in most companies? So I wanted to comment on that.
Yes, sir. Right now the government holding, public shareholding in the company is around 13%. So we are still short of 12% as per the minimum public shareholding norm set by the SEBI. And the government, let me share with you that the government has already initiated action on it. They are going to offload about 12% of the share.
By when will this be happening? Is there a timeline or a date?
That will be decided. They have already finalized the. They already appointed the
legal manager to the issue, legal advisor to the issue, and merchant banker.
They have already appointed the legal managers and advisors and merchant bankers for this. So probably in the next say 3 months, this may happen.
Okay, it will happen in the next 3 months. Okay. Secondly, I wanted to understand, can we expect a change in the dividend policy, because we are taking a lot of leverage, and considering our business is very capital intensive, just because the government has set certain norms for PSUs to give out dividends, we might end up over leveraging or something, and we are not even raising equity. So will we consider a change, because otherwise it won't be very healthy to keep paying out 50% dividend every year while doing so much capex?
Yeah, you are right. Yes, high dividend and at the same time high capex, both cannot go together. So the dividend policy, of course, is under the domain of the Government of India. The norms already normed that 5% of the net worth or 30% of the PAT, whichever is higher. We are following that, but right now we are managing this 5% of the net worth, and at the same time we are doing the capex this year. We are doing more than 5,000 crores. The target was 5,000 crores. So we will achieve that target of 5,000. We will achieve that also. And next year for FY23 we will be doing capex of 8,000 crores rupees. But you are right that the change in dividend policy. So Government of India will surely, because there is.
Can we accept expect an exemption or something? Because that would be great from our retail investors or any institutional investors perspective.
Yes, government can consider exemption also.
From the management, can we expect a request to the government or something?
Not right now.
Bureaucratic otherwise.
Not right now. We are very comfortable in meeting the capex target and giving this minimum this dividend also.
Okay, and my another question was that you mentioned thermal. We are entering into thermal also, but I considered I was assuming that we are focused more on renewable and all, and because of that our ESG and all might get affected. So what's the thesis behind going into thermal energy? When there's other PSCs already doing that.
Yes, thermal we are doing only one project, and that too at cost plus basis. The government of Bihar selected us for executing that project in Buxar. So, but we are giving now more emphasis on renewable, that is solar or wind also. But at the same time, we are also adhering to our core strength of hydro. We are not leaving that. So, the emphasis will be on hydro and renewable solar.
There was more of an ESG perspective question, because we are a higher rated ESG company, so it would have been better if we stuck to renewables. But all right, that was good enough. I think we just expect comments soon on the dividend policy, because I think we might end up over leveraging. That's our only concern.
That's a good suggestion from your side. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Aniruddha Arundekar, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. You mentioned the funding for our upcoming projects is mostly through securitization and debt. So is there any maximum debt to equity ratio we are looking at, or we are going to fund as the opportunities come?
You can very well understand that we are under leveraged. Our debt equity ratio is 0.19:1. But in the times to come, we can take it up to say 2:1. So there is a lot of scope of leveraging. So given the project pipeline with us, more debt will be required, and we will leverage the company in terms of the debt equity ratio.
Okay, just another question is, for last 3 to 4 years, our generation capacity is almost fixed around 2 gigawatt. So is there significant addition in generation capacity in next 6 months or 1 year?
Because the construction work on the project started say around 2 to 3 years back. So given the gestation period for the hydro project is long, though we are now also entering into solar also. Because for solar projects it takes around 2 years for commissioning a project. So this year, FY23, there is an addition of around 200 megawatt capacity, or 205 to be more specific. 60 megawatt hydro Natwar Mori project in Uttarakhand, and 145 megawatt of 2 solar projects, one in Uttar Pradesh and one in Gujarat. And in the FY24, there will be addition of I think more than 2,500 megawatt capacity by thermal, hydro, and renewable solar projects.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Aniruddha. May I request you to please rejoin?
Okay.
We have participants waiting.
Okay.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sanjay Jain, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thanks for taking my question. Sir, I mean, you have actually very large capex program for next 10 years that, either willfully or it's been pushed by the government on SJVN. I mean, these numbers like are huge. Like you were talking about 15 gigawatt of solar, which might be at 5 crore, something like 75,000 crore. And hydro, we were talking about 7 gigawatt project. I mean, it takes at least 10 crore to set up per megawatt hydro project with 70,000. So it's 1 lakh 50,000 crore kind of capex, we are talking about over the next 10 years. It's a massive thing we are talking. And there's a question asked earlier and you try to reply that. My thing is that, I mean, this is really going over the top. Is it that, are we looking at our balance sheet? It's really, we need a lot of innovative financing to execute these kind of projects. So I'm really not sure we're going to have that kind of equity which will be able to generate to fund these capex. I mean, or you are thinking that this is just a vision statement, and these hydro projects may in Arunachal Pradesh may just not come. There's a lot of hurdles. Instead of 10 years, it might be 20, 25 years that these projects get over. Because I remember some of these projects were allotted to private players like Jindal and all, but 10, 15 years ago, and nothing has happened on those projects. So what would be like, a practical project execution or the capex requirement should be built in? Or are you also thinking of these solar projects which are coming in, which get executed in a shorter period of time, and then you spin them off into some InvITs kind of structure so that your funds get released and then you can redeploy those funds into the next solar projects? Has some serious thought has been given on these kind of funding? Because these are not, you can't really, these are not simple things. Like you really need to put a serious thought about funding these projects, unless like these are like typical PSU visions which, commit and you don't execute. And practically like, do fraction of what you talk. Because these projects are like, you just can't put in the drawing board and start constructing in the ground.
Thank you, Sanjay, for your observations and queries. Let me categorically state that whatever we are stating and we are thinking and what we are envisioning, it is very, very serious and practical. Nothing of this kind that what we say, we plan and we do. Our capex line, if you go through our capex line, say last for 4-5 years. 5 years back, we were having a capex of what 400 or 500 crore rupees. Just in 5 years, we have crossed 10 times 5,000 crore. Next year, we are doing 8,000 crore. And in the coming 8-9 years, my capex line is of around 1,50,000 crore rupees capex. And that has been worked on seriously on the basis of our this vision or goal of 25 gigawatt company by 2030. And taking into consideration all the projects in pipeline, whether under construction or under various stages of development, or the projects which we are aspiring or we are making efforts to get these projects. For example, you have rightly said that for 5,000 megawatt capacity projects, we have gone to Arunachal Pradesh. And I was advocating this theory of one basin, one developer approach for the last 4-5 years. Now all the governments, the government of India, government of Arunachal Pradesh, government of Himachal Pradesh, or even the government of Nepal, they have understood this theory of one basin, one developer, and the optimization of resources and faster development of the this energy sources will take place. So for these projects, whether they were with Reliance or with the GSW, and that the private players, they cannot wait for a long to wait for the results, but PSUs, central PSUs particularly, have the capacity of waiting for this period and investing further. So similarly, for this solar energy projects also. Whether in Rajasthan, we are also having discussion with government of Uttar Pradesh, government of Bihar, government of Punjab also. So we will be executing, developing these solar projects in these states also. Wherever the opportunity falls, in Gujarat also. So we are very much serious and we are getting the results also. So we will plan at this equity portion, whether we do it in 70-30 or 80-20 ratio also. So for these projects, out of 1,50,000 crore capex, we will be requiring around 30 to 40 or 50,000 crore capex, this equity also. So we have all cash inflows. We have already worked out, and we will not spin off the project, commission project, but there are other alternate sources of funding, innovative sources of funding, like I have already mentioned in my initial remarks or reply to the questions, that securitization of the existing resources, we will get more than 10,000 crore for the two projects or the projects which come into operation in the coming year. And through other sources also, like raising of bonds or external commercial borrowing or any innovative source of funding which will come in our way, and we will go step by step. So that is the thinking and the plan on our side.
So just one follow-up. My worry basically is that with this kind of capex, we have seen history in power sector that companies which were like very good and very good balance sheet, just like SJVN, we starting from a debt-free company. 10 years down the line, we don't fall in the debt trap, because do we have any target debt to EBITDA number? Because that we will not let this debt number cross beyond the EBITDA that company is generating. Because if you see project financing, there is no EBITDA in the projects, and hydro projects, they really take very, very long period to come, and that by the time those projects come, the project cost escalates so much that the states are not willing to pay that kind of tariff. We've seen that happening with NHPC. Some of those projects, despite government giving some kind of viability funding, special dispensation, special interest rate for certain portion of debt. You can take the example of Subhanjali project that got stuck, and these projects are very likely to get stuck, because they have a lot of environmental impact in that region. So, what kind of risk mitigation are we trying to do so that we don't fall in debt trap?
Right, Sanjay. In business parallel or in the business terminology, debt-free company may not be a good company. That means the money of the shareholders, we will not be utilizing it properly. And debt, but it is a prudent kind of debt. That is there, and there is lesser risk. But in business, to earn more profit, we have to have some risk also in business. So risk cannot be ruled out. But at the same time, we will be going with the full wisdom and full prudence, whether in the hydro sector or the solar sector. In the hydro sector, Government of India has initiated or has given guidelines also not for avoiding this time overrun or cost overrun of the projects also. And from our experience, we have learned a lot. We are a 33-year-old company in the power business, and we have learned a lot how to mitigate the risk and how to complete the projects, given the geological risk also, or the other surprises also, within the minimum possible time. And you will see in the times to come that in hydro sector also, we will not only completing the project on the scheduled time, but we are planning to even commission the project before time by taking the innovative steps or out-of-box thinking ideas also. So we'll be doing that. But we are sure that we will not enter into any kind of business where we encounter the business trap kind of debt trap kind of thing. So we'll be doing that with all prudence.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraints, this will be the last question, which is from the line of Rohit Natarajan from Antique Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the follow-up. So basically, my question is on this Rajasthan. Sir, can you throw some, estimated EBITDA per megawatt? What will be that number looking like in your internal calculation for this solar project?
Can you repeat the question? There was some bouncing back of the.
Sir, your Rajasthan, this 10 gigawatt that you have planned, you have the press, the media articles say you are planning to invest close to 50,000 crore in that particular project.
Yes.
What is the
Yes.
EBITDA per megawatt of solar project?
The estimated cost of these projects of 10 gigawatt capacity will be around 40 to 50,000 crore rupees. That will depend upon the area, but in Rajasthan that insolation is good. The sunshine days in a year are more than 300, or there is around 325 sunshine days in Rajasthan. So capacity utilization factor will be good. Though investment may be around 4 to 5 crore per megawatt, but the generation of energy will be more. So the income from the generation of energy will be
Sir, I appreciate that part. If you could help me understand what is the EBITDA per megawatt you are looking in those projects?
That we have not yet worked out, but we will work out the figure later. At this time, it cannot be worked out.
Okay. Sir, in the existing portfolio, what is that number looking like? Existing portfolio of solar.
Existing portfolio solar right now, our this 145 megawatt capacity projects, 2 projects are under construction, and we have portfolio of 2,600 megawatt, and with this addition of 10,000 megawatt, which we can say in the pipeline also. But at the same time, we are bidding other solar projects also. We are having discussions with the government of Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Bihar, for more capacity solar projects also. So total capacity by 2030 will be around 15 to 17 gigawatt capacity of solar.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, as this was the last question for today, I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Rupesh Sankhe for closing comments.
So we thank management of SJVN for giving us an opportunity to host this call. We also thank all the investors and the analysts for joining this call. A good day and take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. On behalf of Elara Securities Private Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.